channel. So today's video is breakfast ideas for fall, and who else is so excited that it's fall? Like seriously, this is the best time of year. It's fall, and then it's winter, and Christmas. So my last video I asked you guys what you wanted to see for my next video in a little poll in like the eye thing right here, and it was kind of a tie between fall treats and healthy fall breakfast ideas. So I kind of wanted to mix the two and give you guys a little bit of both in this video. So these are definitely not healthy by any means, but these are all so freaking delicious, and I promise worth every single calorie. Like seriously, so good. If you've seen any of my food videos before, then you will notice that this one was filmed in a completely different style. So I hope you guys will like it. I've been super inspired by like Instagram and Facebook videos lately, so that's kind of how I wanted to put like a little spin on this one. So I really hope you guys will enjoy this, and if you do, please give it a big thumbs up. I'm super excited about this. Also, if you're new here and you're not already subscribed, hi, my name is Kristi-Anne. I would love it if you hit that subscribe button, and also if you want to know whenever I post a new video, then make sure to hit that little bell for notifications. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So starting with the batter, I'm adding flour, sugar, kosher salt with room temperature eggs and room temperature milk to a blender, and then adding in some vanilla and melted butter, and then blending that on high until it's really smooth. Then in a small pan, I'm adding in some butter and letting that melt. And once that's melted, I'm adding in a green apple that I've peeled and cubed. And then I'm adding in some brown sugar, some cinnamon, and some vanilla, and giving that a good stir and letting it sit for a few minutes until the apples have softened. After that, I'm adding in some chopped pecans, stirring that together, and then taking it off the heat. And then in a very hot oven-safe pan, I'm adding some clarified butter and my batter, and then I'm adding my apple mixture on top of that and popping it into the oven to bake. When it's in the oven, it'll get really big and puffy, but as it sits, it'll kind of deflate a bit. I like to serve mine with some powdered sugar, but you could totally do some maple syrup if you'd like, and that's it. You wouldn't wait for me, but you always do. I've been hoping. So for this one, I'm starting off by peeling a butternut squash and then cutting it in half and removing all of the seeds. And then I'm just removing the stems and cutting it into some small cubes. So then I'm just taking some rosemary and removing the needles and then chopping that up. And then into an oven-safe pan, I'm adding some oil and some sweet yellow onion, and then letting that soften for a few minutes. And then I'm adding in the butternut squash as well as some cubed potato. And then finally adding in the rosemary, some pressed garlic, and kosher salt, and seasoning it with pepper to taste. Then I'm just leaving it on the heat for a few minutes to get nice and brown on the bottom, and then I'm popping it into a preheated oven to finish cooking. While that's in the oven, I'm bringing a pot of water up to a boil and adding in some white vinegar, and then I'm stirring the water with a wooden spoon to create a whirlpool and adding in an egg. And this will poach it perfectly so that it looks like a perfect little ball of mozzarella. So then I removed the pan from the oven and added some arugula and some sliced green apple and the poached egg with some salt and chives to finish it off. If you are into more savory breakfast options, then I definitely recommend trying this. It was so delicious, and the butternut squash just takes it over the top. So into some warm milk, I'm adding some active dry yeast and then letting that sit for a few minutes. And then into a large bowl, I'm adding some whisked eggs and some melted butter along with my yeast mixture and mixing everything together. And then I'm adding in some sugar and kosher salt with some cinnamon, some pumpkin pie spice, and a little bit of vanilla, and mixing all of that together. So for the flour, I'm adding in a third at a time and then adding in a third of the warm milk until I've completely emptied both bowls. So then you can cover these and let them rise for about an hour in a warm spot, or if you want better results, you can refrigerate them overnight. For the pumpkin butter, I'm adding in some pumpkin puree to a pan with some brown sugar as well as some white sugar and cinnamon, and then of course pumpkin pie spice, a little bit of kosher salt, some lemon juice, and then vanilla. And then you want to bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for like 20 to 30 minutes until it's completely reduced down and nice and thick. So the next morning, I took my batter out of the fridge And to prevent sticking, I sprayed my waffle iron with some cooking spray and then added 3/4 cup of batter and just smoothed that out. Let that cook for a few minutes until it was ready and topped it off with some pumpkin butter. And you guys, this stuff is insanely delicious. You can use as much or as little as you want, but I also wanted to add a little bit of maple syrup just to finish it off and make it super extra. And that's it. These waffles are incredible. I definitely recommend everyone tries them out.
When my heart beats free, take my hand in the middle of a crisis.
So for this next recipe, I'm taking a large loaf of brioche and I'm cutting it into some small cubes and adding that into a bowl. Then into a large bowl, I'm adding some eggs and some milk as well as some pumpkin puree, and make sure this isn't pumpkin pie filling, with some vanilla, some brown sugar, pumpkin pie spice, and kosher salt. Then I'm whisking everything together until it's well combined and pouring that mixture over top of my bread. So then I'm just mixing that all together, and you want to let this sit for at least 3 hours in the refrigerator, but ideally overnight. For the glaze, I'm adding some room temperature cream cheese and some room temperature butter to a bowl with some vanilla and some powdered sugar, and then mixing that all together and then thinning it out with a few tablespoons of milk. So then I'm just greasing my bundt pan with a little bit of butter and some paper towel to make sure nothing sticks. And into my French toast mixture, I'm adding some chopped pecans and giving that a good mix together. So then I'm just spooning the mixture into the pan and then popping it into the oven. And you want to let this cook until it's no longer wet inside. So to finish it off, I'm just adding some of my glaze and some chopped pecans. And you can add a little bit of extra glaze when you serve it. This literally tastes like a giant cinnamon roll. It's seriously so good. If you guys want something a little bit extra decadent tasting, then I definitely recommend this one. So I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below which one you would be most likely to eat. And if you try any of these out, please send me a picture. It would just literally make my life. You can send them to me on Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.